Hi everyone, it's K1 with the Scary Art. So I'm about to actually unbox the purples due to popular request. These are the brand new purples that were released by Ranger for 2020. We're going to do some swatches and then I'm going to provide this on my website. So let's get started. Okay, so I typically create my swatches on plastic poster board, and since isopropyl is low, I don't use isopropyl. I use denatured alcohol for all my swatches. I have from the beginning. The only reason why I do that is because it lifts the ink completely off the paper, and it will make the ink do what its nature is. Meaning, if there are any underlying colors, it will make it come out. And I don't know why. I guess it's because of the ethanol. I'm not a chemist, but I think it's the denatured alcohols. It's just stronger. But in order for me to do that, I typically have a window ventilating, and I have a fan running to push the air out and out the window. So the first color that I want to do is actually Cobalt. So I'm going to pour some denatured alcohol, as you can see right here. Pour some, just a little bit into a cup. Don't want too much. If I need more, I can always get more. And I'll use this little guy. So I've got a little dropper, I've got my little Giotto rocket, and I've got my denatured alcohol. Typically what I like to do is I will pull some alcohol, put some drops, and then pour like 3 or 4 drops of this Cobalt. And these are this is from the purples. I guess this is more of a bluish purple, but it's very beautiful. So I like to move it around to make sure that I get different concentration of color from it. And you can't trust the color when it's wet. So I'm seeing some gray blues, some purples in here, and I'm pushing it down. Okay, so now what I like to do is I will pour some alcohol on the ends here to lighten it down, because that's typically what I would do. I would use more alcohol to thin it down and move the edges and so on and so forth. So I want to see what this does when I do that. And then I'll leave a concentration of it down here. Drop, a couple more drops here, pushing the ink around. I'm really liking this color. It's really pretty. I'm not worried about making a work of art right now. All I'm worried about is actually doing the swatch. So okay. So we're going to let this dry. I think this is enough to give me the color variations that this color has to offer. So I'll let that dry over here. So the second color I want to do is Vineyard. Actually, let's do Boysenberry. So this is Boysenberry. Same process. I'm going to put some denatured alcohol down. Actually should be wearing my gloves. I forgot them downstairs, but I'm not touching anything really. I'm just doing 3 drops and moving around. So this is a really pretty color as well. Wow. This reminds me of the wild plum color that Ranger has. However, I feel like this has a little bit more purple to it than the wild plum color from Ranger. So all I'm doing is just moving around, trying to get it to show me its true nature, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, and then I'm going to add some alcohol to it, just to see it break down and see what it does. See how it's lifting? I don't know if you can see that, but it completely lifts it and makes a divider. So this allows me to see, it breaks down the color very well. Denatured does. And I think this is what allows me to see the different variations of color clearly. I mean, right now it's wet, obviously, so you're not going to see it. It's showing me a different color than what the originally was. And since it's wet, I can't trust that color, but I know that it's going to be a different color. And the other thing that this typically does is that it breaks it down sometimes, and sometimes it leaves weird pigments, pieces, fragments, because either the pigment it's just, I don't know why it does that. I just know that it just helps me see all the different variations of color within one color. So when I'm doing a piece, I can actually see. I'm going to drop some right here too. This color is a little more pigment intensive, so I'm trying to break it down a bit more so that I can see all the different variations of it. One drop of denatured. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. I'm not seeing that much variation, which is a good thing, for me at least. Alright, the last color is Vineyard. So this is Vineyard. 3 drops. I think that's more than enough. These are very high pigment colors. I mean, colors that have a lot of pigment in them. Oh, I don't want it to go off the page because I want to use this. Wow, this is a very rich purple. Or as they say, violet. Moving it around, getting it to just a variation of thicknesses here. Beautiful color, beautiful. I'm kind of amazed at the amount of pigment this thing has compared to some of the other purples that I've seen, or violets. This is called, again, this one's Vineyard. I'm going to break it down even more. I'm curious to see, I'm seeing slight blues. I'm wondering if the blue's going to come out eventually if I keep working it down. And that's what I want to know. See, I see some blue right there. The interesting thing about denatured is it won't, like if I put a couple drops here, watch what it does. It literally makes this border, and I can't mix them together. Like I can't mix the border from the outside in. And that's really, really cool, I guess. I don't know. And this is what I typically use. I use denatured a lot for my edges. Like I can take a paintbrush, and you may see it in the March video that I did, the live painting. You can clearly see that it just acts differently, but it also shows you the nature of the color. So it will not let me mix the color, the original with it. It's like it only allows an amount on it, a little bit at a time. I don't know if it's the ethanol that does that, a little oily based. I'm not sure. Just trying to move it around to get it to door. Since the window's open, the air keeps pushing and closing, opening and closing the door. Okay, I think I'm gonna let this dry as well. It's already showed me enough of what I think it's gonna do. I'll just leave that like that. And let these dry, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the colors. So the three colors that I did were Cobalt, and here's the result. As you can see, there's a lot of beautiful blues and a little hint of purple. The next color that I did was a Boysenberry. So here's Boysenberry. And the last but not least, it was Vineyard. So there's Vineyard. So my wife actually saw these three colors and she loves them. She wants me to do a painting with them. I may add a little bit of gold, but I'll add these three colors plus gold. And look for that live video soon, because that's happening. So I will scan these in and color correct them and put them on my website. So feel free to visit my website, ascariart.com/blog, and you'll see that as one of my latest articles. You can download the swatches there. I'm also thinking about, I'm going to have another live painting session soon because I'm going crazy, but I'm also running out of poster board. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to paint the next painting. The live painting, it may be a smaller scale. Maybe repurpose something that I've had, which might work. But stay tuned, subscribe, thank you. I've got 3 other batches of colors to do. Let me know which one you want me to do next. I've got pinks, I've got greens, and I've got these reds. So let me know which one's next, and I will gladly do them. If not, if I don't hear from anyone, then I will just do one that I please, and I'll put it up online. But please comment, subscribe, and check out the alcohol safety video that I posted. It's a safety video with safety video for alcohol inks. Check it out. Thank you. God bless. Stay safe. Stay well. Stay tuned. All right. Take care.